Hi class, it's me again. And we're going to continue untuk minggu ini. Kita akan menambahkan 2 skill lagi. Jadi dalam minggu ini kita akan belajar 4 skill. Di video sebelumnya Anda sudah nonton skill 7 dan 8. Skill video ini berarti melanjutkan ya untuk skill 9 dan skill 10. Kalau di skill 7 dan 8 kita bicara tentang noun clause konektor serta noun clause konektor yang berfungsi sebagai subjek juga, selain sebagai konektor juga sebagai subjek, maka pada skill 9 dan 10 kita melihat adjective clause. Jadi ada noun clause dan adjective clause. Juga kita akan lihat adjective clause connectors serta adjective clause connectors yang juga berfungsi sebagai subjek. Oke. Ceritanya begini, karena dalam dalam kalimat-kalimat bahasa Inggris mereka banyak menggunakan klausa-klausa, dan banyak klausa itu juga bertindak sebagai subjek, bukan hanya untuk connect dua bagian, tetapi bahkan dua kalimat itu digabung menjadi satu. So it is very very important untuk kita untuk mempelajari struktur-struktur kalimat seperti ini. Bukan hanya berfungsi pada saat Anda tes TOEFL saja, tapi nanti pada saat Anda membaca, pada saat Anda menulis mungkin, ya, atau juga berbicara. Oke, alright. So kita akan mulai dengan materi tambahan berikut ini, dan kita mulai dengan, wait a minute, kita mulai dengan yang berikutnya ya. Ini saya tidak bikin dalam bentuk PowerPoint slideshow, saya lupa tadi ternyata. Tapi it's okay. Kita akan mulai dengan skill 9, adjective clause connectors. Ini adalah mata kuliah grammar in academic discourse dengan saya Mem Helena dan juga Miss Wensi. Semoga Anda menikmati materinya. Materinya tetap akan saya kasih dalam bahasa Inggris because at least you have to learn to understand explanations in English. Okay? Sekali lagi, kalau ada pertanyaan, silakan tulis di comment section di bawah. Okay? Let's start. Adjective clause, as you know, is an adjective, is a multi-word adjective that includes subject and a verb. We know this because this is generally a basic form of all clause. And then when we think of an adjective, we usually think about a single word used before a noun. Yeah? So that word modify or describe or add meanings to the noun. Tall building, what kind of building? It's a tall building. Smelly cat, what kind of cat? It's a smelly cat because it doesn't take a bath, etc. However, an adjective can also come in the form of a clause, which is an adjective clause. An adjective clause usually comes after the noun it modifies, and it's made up of several words, which, like all clauses, will include a subject and a verb. The component of an adjective clause, first of all, adjective clause is also called a relative clause. So if you are Googling things and then you find adjective clause, but you also find it, it says relative clause, it's the same thing with different name, yeah? And it has the 3 characteristics. Number 1, it will start with relative pronoun, which is who, whom, whose, that, or which, or a relative adverb, such as when, where, or why. Now, this link it to the noun it's modifying. Note, quite often the relative pronoun can be omitted. Yeah. However, with an adjective clause, it's always possible to put one in. Number 2, it will have subject and verb. Duh. Number 3, it will tell us something about the noun. There's an example there to show you what these 3 characteristics look like. The rat that John saw yesterday was in the kitchen earlier. Number 1, it will start with relative pronoun. In here, it used the word that, and then it has subject and verb, John saw, and it will tell us something about the noun. That John saw yesterday is an additional information about the rat. What kind of rat? It's the rat that John saw yesterday. Okay, adjective clause is a clause that that describe, yeah, that describe a noun. So that's why it's called an adjective. There's a question, example sentence down there. The woman is filling the glass that she put on the table. That she put on the table is an adjective clause because it adds a meaning and it describes what kind of glass are we talking about here. The glass that she put on the table contains milk. This is also an adjective clause because this adjective clause explains glass. Notice that the structure that the adjective clause can be put behind here at the end of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. But the point is it has to be close to the noun it describes. Okay. So this is a explanation about the thing on top. You can read it by yourself. Just pause the video and read. Next, look at the following questions. The gift, blah, 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 selected for the bride was rather expensive. You have the option because, was, since, and which we. Now, which one do you think is the answer? Yep, the answer is D. Number one, we already know that we are learning about adjective clause. Therefore, you, based on the first characteristic of an adjective clause, you must start with relative, what do you call that? Relative, what do you call that? Let's go back and check. Relative pronoun and relative adverb, yeah? So, because, was, and since is not relative clause or relative adverb. Therefore, you can just omit and you already know that the answer is D. But if you don't know which skill are you, then one way to see it is you read the sentence, the gift, that is the subject, and then blank selected for the bride. You know that selected is the verb. So you already have the subject and you already have the verb in a sentence, yeah? Selected for the, the selected is not the verb is was, yes? The gift, blah, 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 was rather expensive, which means the one in the middle there, it is a clause that explains the gift. Therefore, with our knowledge, now that we know it, that we're doing an adjective clause to explain what kind of gift is it, then the obvious answer is D. This is all the explanation from the book. You can pause and read it by yourself. I would like you to look at the following chart lists of the adjective clause connectors. Yeah, adjective clause connectors, beside the one that we said in the beginning, there are three things. Whom is always used for people, which is always used for things, and that is neutral. It can go both ways. People, things, animals, extraterrestrial, aliens, it can be used for those things too, even ghost. So, and when it comes to the form, it is the same as any other connectors. It has connectors, and then you have two subjects in each of the clauses and two verbs in each of the clauses. Yeah. No, the adjective connectors can be omitted. The omission is very common in spoken English or in casual written English. It is not as common in formal English or in structure questions on the TOEFL test. So we can get by with wrong or errors in grammar when it comes to spoken English, yeah, or casual written English. But when it comes to formal academic English, things that you're going to use to write during your work time or your study time, you know, there's no harm done in learning the real or the actual or the proper structures of the sentences. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Next is, now we're going to quickly move on to the next skill, which is skill 10, adjective clause connectors dan subject. Remember, di video sebelumnya kita udah lihat juga bagaimana konektor itu bisa juga berfungsi sebagai subject. Okay, so we will move on without further ado. Kita akan lanjut ke yang berikutnya. Okay, wait a minute. So I won't go into too much details because in skill 9, the previous one, adjective clause connectors were used to introduce clauses that describe noun. Now we will see that in some cases, an adjective clause connector is not just a connector, but also as the subject of the clause. Remember, yeah, subject of the clause. Clause. Hi, I need to get into how you pronounce this thing. Okay, the woman is filling up the glass. This is the same example that we have before. So I'm just gonna go through it and leave it at that. And then I'm gonna give you this. Blank on the table has 4 sections. The answer is B. And to make things faster, I'm gonna leave it like that so you can read it. Just pause and then pause it and then read the explanation. Okay, the following chart or list is adjective, clause connector, and also as subject. Who, remember, before we can use whom, yeah? But to act as a subject, you cannot use whom, you use who, okay? So who, which, and that. That's the only difference between skill 10 and skill 9. And the rest of it is the same, okay? All right, now you can complete exercise 9 and 10 and continue to review exercise 9 and 10, 210.